What's up, everybody? Welcome to Free Lady. I'm your host, Brittney McWethy, and we got Jeff Davis on today. How are you, man?
I'm doing good. Really excited to be here.
Yeah, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Appreciate it.
You guys, I don't know what episode this is going to be because it's just like recording. I love it. Like, it's just, they're out there. We're here. We're here to help serve you. We're here to help have you listen to somebody's story where you can relate and be like, I relate to you. I know how to get out of this stuck programming that I am in to become the person I want to become, to love themselves. This is what this podcast is all about, y'all. So, of course, we're going to start off with 3 things that we're grateful for. I am super grateful that I'll probably already be moving. I'll probably already be living in Utah when this podcast comes out. I got a job this past weekend. I went out there and did some interviews. That's pretty cool. I got to meet Daniel's kids. It was very natural and amazing. I'm like, isn't that cool? And
how many kids does he have?
3. He has 3 girls.
Okay. Wow. How old?
13, 11, and 7.
Wow. Okay.
Yo, right. But it was kind of cool because they were like bantering in the car when we were on, just driving around because we took them to the aquarium. And I'm like, I just feel at home. I'm the oldest of 5. Yeah. So I totally get it. Like, I think if I didn't have siblings, I would not relate at all. So I'm glad, I can relate to his 3 girls, and I'm the oldest. I can relate to the oldest. So I'm excited for friendships to start. And I'm just thankful for that. So what are you thankful for? I'm sure I can.
Yeah. So honestly, today I'm really grateful for my therapist. I have a really good therapist that I can go and just share all of my deepest, dark secrets, thoughts, feelings to. And he just truly gives me tools to use on a daily and weekly basis that work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm really grateful for him because he respects me like a brother. He's not like, I feel like he's not my therapist, but he is, because he's just so relatable. You know what I mean? He's that one that really pushes the boundary of just making you feel heard.
Yeah.
Like, I love that.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah. I'm really grateful for that. And I'm also grateful just for where I live. It's just really sunny. We live here in Arizona, in Scottsdale. And,
okay.
We moved here over a year ago in November, and from North Dakota. And like, I don't mind the snow. I don't mind snowmobiling, but I do not miss the 30 below 0 at all. So I'm really grateful for the weather right now.
Yeah, I get that. That's very cool. And you have exciting news.
Yes, we do. We're expecting my second child, my wife's first. We're expecting a little baby girl in November.
Oh my gosh. Is your first child a girl or a boy?
He's a boy. He's 13. Yep. So he lives back in North Dakota, but we speak weekly. So we just shared the news with him. Actually, he started crying.
Excited, right?
Yeah, he started crying right on the phone. He was like so pumped. Yeah. And like, I didn't want to share it like when he called me, or because he was supposed to call me the night before and he couldn't because it was late, and then he called me, FaceTime me, and he was in the car with his mom, and I was like, okay, like, I wanted to tell, but whatever, it is what it is. I mean, she
right.
Yeah, I mean, actually there was a huge revelation with that, because his mom and I have not seen eye to eye. I resented her for a really long time. I actually still kind of hold some resentment, and I'm kind of sometimes pissed off at myself about that, but just from the past. But she actually sent me a really kind message.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so that was awesome. But
that's amazing.
Something I'm working on.
I was just gonna say, we're all human, right? Like, I was just talking to I've been talking a lot about this. I'm not gonna say the reason because it's not relevant. But I have felt super guilty for a lot of things in my past because I let people walk all over me. I would feel bad if I couldn't do something or be somewhere. And so like, I'm working on like guilt. Like, so it's just to say that, Jeff, you're working on resentment and stuff like that. we're all working on something, you guys. Like, we're human beings.
Yeah, we are.
But if we acknowledge that we're working on it
Mhm.
and we're consistent, we're going to move a step forward. And I definitely feel like less guilty as, as I have progressed and have
Yeah.
become unrecognizable every year, these last 2 years. But yeah, like it's really hard for that one thing that's really stuck in our bodies, our minds, you know what I mean? But like, it shows up that we're human.
Yeah,
And
and
yeah,
I just like the feeling of forgiveness. I
yeah,
really, it's truly, I feel like it's ungrateful to be resentful. I
right,
feel like
right,
that the more resentment that I hold, the more negativity that I'm putting into the universe.
yeah,
And that to me is harmful for my
right,
mindset. It's just harmful for my life, and that's
right,
not what I preach. So, but
right,
like every day I wake up ungrateful every day. I just have to get myself into a grateful state. You know what I mean?
right.
Like I wake up and I don't want to get up. I'm like, that's ungrateful. Like, dude, stop saying that. Like, get up, you know?
Mhm,
Sometimes I
mhm.
don't want to go to the gym. I'm like, that's really ungrateful, dude. Like like
Right.
you happy you're going to the gym. And so I'm always in that state of always trying to consciously be grateful. And
Yeah.
I live in that state all day long. So that's really cool that you brought
Yeah.
that up.
But it's kind of like, if you think about it, how you say that and how you are consistent, it's also like your power. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you recognize that you're doing this, well, shit, Jeff, I need to be grateful because
Yeah.
I wake up every day and I don't want to work out. I'm like, oh,
Yeah. No, well, no one does. And like to me,
oh man.
yeah, if I'm on a client call and someone, I mean, I've had this conversation several times. Like I didn't want to work out and their gym's 5 minutes away. I'm like, do you know how selfish and ungrateful that is? Like, do you hear yourself that you didn't want to go work out? No, motherfucker, you actually get
Yep.
to work out today. You get
Yep.
to, so get
Yep.
your fucking feet on the ground and you
Yeah.
need to put your clothes on, have some coffee, and just
Yeah.
go. Because afterwards, you're gonna feel amazing. You're going to,
For sure. For
you
sure.
know, yeah, that
For
warm
sure.
bed feels really good, but it feels way better to
Oh,
have that high of a workout.
oh man. Like, I mean, I was in Utah this weekend and on Sunday, I brought my gym clothes just in case. And, on Sunday, before I, met the girls and stuff, I was like, I'm going to work out. And I told Amber, I was like, I'm just going to go for 30 minutes. And then I was there for an hour and a half. You know what I mean? So it's just like,
That's
just get
that's
there.
that's okay though.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
good.
So
That's
speaking of working out, Jeff, who are you and what do
yeah.
you do?
Yeah. So I'm a global fitness coach. I coach people all around the world, as far as Australia. I coach people on
Wow.
nutrition, yep, on their nutrition, their mindset, and then their workouts. The biggest thing that we really focus on though, Brittany, is their mindset. You know, that's I think that you and I could probably relate to this, just being in the den and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Like the biggest thing is people's excuses and their mind and these stories that they've created from their past and their trauma,
right.
and they've allowed that to be their stories now and their
Yeah,
excuses now. And I really just like my number one goal, like even the first month, is just to get some wins within their body, within the scale,
yeah,
within their mind, and just truly get them to start seeing their potential. Because
right.
we can break down, once I break down all the mindset barriers, they realize that they can track food, they can go work out, they can
Yeah,
do all these things and feel the way that they want to. So in a nutshell, that's what I do. I mean, sometimes I feel like I'm a therapist, but that's good. I mean,
I get that.
yeah, 100%. You know,
I totally
I
get
think
that.
all coaches feel like that to some manner of some sort.
Right.
But it truly, like my coaching calls are some of the best parts of my day. They fire me up because I can break through with so many
Awesome.
different people. Yeah. So
That's amazing. And I feel like it's not just about sharing your wins, right? Like, I share my wins. This is how I do it. It's about seeing other people's wins and
yep.
seeing
And
what they
struggles.
have to
Yeah.
offer. You know what I mean? And showing them that they can be confident and how simple it is.
Mhm.
Especially with iPhones that we have now. I mean, God, there's like everything we can track on our phone takes like 5 seconds. You know what I mean? And I think
Yes.
that's a really beautiful thing. And That makes me excited. You know, I'm launching my coaching group really, really soon here. I'm nervous, excited, scared, feel like
Oh, you'll crush it. I mean,
excited.
the
I
thing is
question it
that,
every day.
yeah, but here's the thing. It's like being nervous, like
Mm-hmm.
when I hear that, I'm like, great, now use that and harness it. Now someone could
For
use that
sure.
nervous and they could prolong this. And the thing is that someone needs to hear your words. Someone needs to hear your testimony. Someone needs to hear
Right.
your struggles. They also need to
Right.
hear your wins. So it's like the longer, and anyone that's listening to this, the longer that you hold out on your coaching group, the longer that you hold out on sharing your wins, the longer that you hold out on any of this stuff, that's selfish.
Mm-hmm.
You could
Mm-hmm.
literally change the trajectory of someone's life with one of your posts
Yep.
today.
Yep.
No?
I agree. I agree. I mean, that's again, you guys, we met in the Lion's Den, and now
Yep.
he's also in the resolutions coaching group, the relationship coaching group that Daniel and I in. And like, I just love being part of all these things. Like you just grow and grow and grow. And it just shows you like, what are you holding all this in for? You know, like
Yeah.
share it with the world, share your story. Never be afraid that it's your story because, you know, honestly, you're going to get slammed left and right from people that you would have never expected.
Yeah.
Um, but at the
Mhm.
same time, it's like, I'm not going to stop. Right. So so tell us like a little bit more like your background.
Yeah.
You know, you guys, I just want to let you know, Jeff has an amazing Instagram page. Like you can learn a shit ton from him. He posted this radical story, a very vulnerable story about him. And I was like, damn, you know, like that is amazing growth. Like I am so proud of you. Like, and you guys, I had, you know, I've talked to him in the den and on Instagram, and I'm proud of somebody that I barely know. Like seeing somebody win, seeing somebody, you know,
Mhm.
post vulnerability and like sharing that vulnerability with the world, it's really, really hard, but it makes you grow so much. And I know that you're probably completely unrecognizable from who
Yeah.
you were
I
in the
mean,
past.
there's days that I truly just like, it just happened today, this morning. Actually, in the morning I do prayer, I'll do a devotional and I'll read and I'll journal. And just this morning, I like broke down in some tears just because I'm just like, man, like I'm not at where I want to be at, but I'm so much further than where I was. And that's the thing. It's like, that was a moment of gratitude that I had within myself and within God and the universe. Is like, I just was super grateful for the time that, like, where I currently was.
That's beautiful, man. That's,
And yeah, I mean, so just to give you guys
yeah. What's your backlight? What's your
yeah,
past life like?
so I grew up in a small town in Minnesota, and grew up just your average kid, average skinny kid, you know.
Mhm.
I was picked on in school. I had moved in my 10th grade or sophomore year of high school over to a bigger school. So it was very scary for me.
Yeah.
And I was able to, I was in sports, but I like wasn't, I wasn't like the star in the sports. I tried to be, but just always was kind of pushed to the side. And
Yeah.
you know, when of course got into college, I think I failed out of college like 2 or 3 times, and because I just was into partying, into drugs, and into women, and it's
Yeah.
just all I wanted to do because I didn't know the route that I wanted to take. I was very lost,
Right.
but I'm glad that I was, because I'm glad I did all those things. I'm glad that I like
Sure.
fucked up. I really am, because it,
Yeah.
it brought me to competing in the bodybuilding world. You
Okay.
know, I had drank and ate like shit and did drugs, or I didn't really do a lot of drugs, but I smoked pot, I did some
Right.
cocaine. But like I, I I was able to feel so worthless on such small amount of things, because I didn't drink to like black out, but that's all I did was go to the bars. And at one point, I remember this, is that I just truly wanted to feel confident in my skin.
Hmm.
I There was a point, and a turning point, where I looked in the mirror and I was just not okay with what I saw. I'm just like, I know that there's something more inside of you. And now is the time that I got to do this. And that was in 2013. So in 2013, I just went all in and I entered into, what was it? It was a male model search for the Mr. Olympia, or the Muscle and Fitness magazine did a male model search, and then they would announce the winner at their Mr. Olympia contest in Las Vegas. So the biggest, like the Super Bowl of bodybuilding.
Yeah.
So I got selected, which I was just like, how did this happen? I got selected to compete in it. And that was my first show. That was the beginning of my, yeah. So I did that. I hired a coach. I went all in. And so from 2013 to 2019, I competed all over the nation. I did 14 different shows, 7 or 8 of them were nationally. So I like tried to go pro a couple times.
Yeah.
Then during that moment of time while I was competing, I learned how to like dabble into coaching. My coach took me under his wing and I started coaching people under his wing, but we were only charging like $100 a month. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a couple $100 a month. So it wasn't like,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, well, this is cool, but like, this isn't lucrative by any means. I'm like, there's no way. I'd have to have hundreds of thousands of clients to like make a living on this. Like, this is ridiculous. So, yeah, so that happened in 2016 when I started that. 2019, I ended up, I actually won a show, like won the whole thing, won the division, won the overall. It was like at the
Wow.
yeah, I was at a high of
Yeah.
my competing career. Ended up breaking my femur that summer and put an end to my competing.
Ooh.
And I actually manifested that break, and I'll tell you how.
Oh.
And that all of your listeners will be able to really take something from this. I did not want to go to nationals after that show. I told my coach I did, but in my heart I didn't. So I lied to him and I told him I did. And I actually, before the show, or like from March up until the show was in, I think the end of July, I told myself that I would tell him a story that I got into a wakeboarding accident. This started in like March, like the moment I was done with the show. So I was going to go compete at the Dallas Europa in Texas, in Texas, and then I was going to go over to and do nationals again. So I was I was at the prime of my competing. I looked my best at. So anyway, so this whole time I was like checking in with him. I was still doing everything I needed to, but I was still going to tell him that I hurt my back. I hurt my back wakeboarding. On July 5th, 2019, I went out on my wakeboard, and remind you, I told myself the story probably 50 times in my head. How am I going to tell him? Am I going to text him? Am I going to call him? Am I going to send him an email? How am I going to do this? That night, I went out wakeboarding. It was my last run. Went up, came down. I heard it snap, and 40 minutes later, I was off in the ambulance going to the hospital, and my femur was completely snapped in half. Yeah. So,
wow.
So that turned everything around for me. But my lesson on that is like, if I would have just been honest and I would have just told him that I didn't want to do this, and I made up the story, that probably wouldn't have happened. But whatever, that's the power of manifestation. Anyways, now
you tell yourself something over and over again, you manifest that energy.
Right. Yeah, it happened. Yeah. And that was like, it was horrible. During that time, I was able to think. I was currently in real estate at the time, and I had this coach reach out, business coach, over and over again, of scaling my fitness business, because I still was dabbling into it. And I'm like, you know what? I've always had this thing inside of me. I've always wanted to work for myself. I'm like, so this investment was, I think it was like $4,500. I actually asked my mom to borrow the money. Borrowed me the money to invest in this into this coaching.
What amazing
business, scaled my fitness business. And since then, from 2020, like that was in 2020, 2021, I went out on my own, and I quit my 9-to-5 real estate job, or I don't want to say my 9-to-5 real estate job. I mean, it was a full-time job, but I've been on my own ever since. And since then, we've helped hundreds of people all around the world. Again, as far as Australia, as far as Germany, the Netherlands, all over, just get in shape, get a better mindset, have a better relationship with food, fit better into their clothes, just truly love who they are as a human and realize that there's a strategy out there, an insurance policy essentially that you can use for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
You don't have to diet all the time and get that same result and then not have an exit strategy. So we have an exit strategy essentially after your diet's done. So
Yeah. I mean, I feel like, when it comes to like health and fitness, I mean, you can get so caught up with whatever programming that you have. Like, I was told, by, like that I was fat for a long time. You know what I mean? And I truly believe that. And I got fat a couple times in my life. You know what I mean? But because of that, you have this mentality, even when you're like really in shape, that you still feel like a fat kid. It's
100%. And
You know what
now that you say that, like, and I'll go deeper on some of my stuff, of course. Like, I want to tell you some of the things that I've battled, even while competing, like having your best shape in the world, and then breaking your femur, going to eating 5 to 6 times a day to once a day, working out. I had the worst body dysmorphia in the world.
Oh, dude,
I completely felt just lost because like I go from all this muscle to not having to not having, like, I had so much atrophy happen, one to my leg and then to the rest of my body.
Right.
Not only that, like, just like throughout my life, I mean, throughout that 6 years of competing, I had cheated on a partner. I had horrible finance issues, like horrible. I was so bad with money. I did a bunch of unethical things. I've struggled with abandonment my whole life. I mean, there's still times that it comes up, but I've got it managed now because, I haven't had a full-time dad in my life. You know what I mean?
Right.
Even now, like, I'm going through stuff with my parent, like my mom and my stepdad now. It's just like, I truly feel forgotten. And I'm just like, I just, like my parent, that's how I feel right now. So it's like, it's stuff that I'm working on right now, but it's like, I dealt with all of that stuff and I use competing as an avenue. I use fitness as an avenue to really just like create something for me just to feel better. So I didn't, so like I got into some really dark places. I have shared on one of my posts, like, I haven't put a gun in my mouth, but I've loaded my hunting rifle and had the intention of wanting to just not be around anymore. But I didn't have the balls to turn that gun around and take the safety off because I just didn't. But I remember just smelling the brass of my 30-06 bullet. Like, I remember the room I was in college. I remember the house. It was I remember that the house number was 1710. It was 1710 First Avenue South. We lived with 5 of us, and I was in such a dark place because we just partied and drank, and we just did all these oh my God, I was just in such a horrible place. And I did so many horrible things to so many people. So I've been in that place, and I'm like, I don't ever want to be there again. I can't.
Right.
And like, I've told my therapist this, and I think that at one point in life, we've all had that really creepy thought just kind of come.
Hell yeah. Hell yes. Yep.
And like, we've all had it. I mean, shit, in this last year, I've had that thought go through my head.
Oh yeah.
Now, I'm way more emotionally intelligent than I am now because I've been in a hardship in the last year. I've gone through battles, but I'm not like, no, like, yeah, I own a gun now, but I would never do that. I would never do that. One, because I'm not selfish enough to do that. Like, my family needs me, my son needs me, my wife needs me. I would never do that. And I know that I was put here to make a difference on this planet so that someone can hear what I have to say, so that I can change someone else's life. And I've done that. I've gotten several messages from people saying, like, you got me through 2 years of chemo. You got me to change my mind. Like, I have almost committed suicide and your words helped me. And this is why I continue to post. I missed yesterday. I think I posted, like, I don't know. I try to post every single day. I don't miss very often. I hate even saying that I've missed, but I just post something every single day.
Yeah.
on my story or a post or anything like that, just to encourage people that there's hope. Like you can use fitness and health and action
Yeah.
to find your purpose. You truly can.
That's so beautiful. I mean, and that's the thing, like I've done several interviews and they're all very similar. You know what I mean? They're all different.
Mhm.
They're all very similar. We all feel the same. It's like we've all had suicidal thoughts. We've all been in this dark place. We've all had our ego take over. We all have fear take over. We've all done like shitty things to ourselves with partying, or we've done shitty things to people. You know what I mean? It's because we didn't fucking care about ourselves. And we had to, it's like, God has put us on this earth to help people love each other. I really truly believe that. I really truly believe that, because we are all God's children. I don't care what you believe in. It's a higher power of some sort, and in that higher power, it's the same thing.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like sometimes I feel like, he puts us through these struggles so we can relate to everybody. We are all so relatable to each other through these struggles, and then the darkness comes, and this is where people struggle the most, because it's lonely, because it's lonely because you have to fucking face yourself. You have to find out who you are, who you want to be, and who you want to become. Because you don't have like the alcohol and the friends and the people and the competing even. You know what I'm saying? You have all these things around you that are supporting you in good ways and bad ways. But at the same time, if it's like this consistent thing where you don't get to look in the mirror very much, all of a sudden you're going to be like, shit, man, I'm doing all this to get away from something else. And that's not a bad thing, right? It is really not a bad thing. Like, I was so thankful that I even found CrossFit in my life, because I had so much shit going on, and it was a way that for me to get obsessed about something else, but I still wasn't really recognizing that. I was like, well, I need to work on myself. I need to work on myself still, and continue to push that envelope, because when you're in the dark places, it's really, really scary. And if you can't like rely on yourself, like who else are you going to rely on? You have to rely on yourself first.
It's the only person that
You
you
know?
can. And I think that everyone just wants a scapegoat. Like
Yeah.
they want to blame their trauma, their
Yeah.
depression, anxiety, and like, yeah, we all go through that, but it's like you can harness all of those things. You can literally, the antidote for anxiety is action. And it's just like if you're having any kind of insecurity problems, if you're having any kind of just any kind of problems, if you just take action on it, you're going to be in a much different place than you were a minute ago. You know what I mean? But this society and this culture has gotten so used to just excuses, and I'm so fucking sick of hearing excuses. I hate that. It's like, but I was built with them. Oh my God.
Right.
Like I had them, excuse me, I had them written all over my freaking, like all over. I
Yeah.
would always show up late. I would always give excuses of why something wasn't done. And I'm like, man, but then I attracted all of those kinds of people into my life.
Right.
Attracted clients like that into my life. I'm like, fuck, like, I remember asking one of my mentors, I'm like, man, I got all these clients that are this, and this. He's like, Jeff, that's you. I'm like, he's like, you're attracting what you are into your business. I'm like, he's like, true or not true? I'm like, true. So true. He's like, okay, so change that shit. And
Yeah.
so I'm like, right, I gotta change, I gotta, I do have to work on myself when it comes to my relationship. I have to learn to love my wife through her dark times. I have to love myself. I have to keep taking action every single day and realize like, I don't get today back. You don't. So it's just like, why not just fully put everything you have, my heart, my soul into today. And if
Right.
you guys are not doing that, you're literally fucking psychotic for not putting everything you have into every day that you're alive on this planet. Seriously, you are.
Yeah.
Like, you might not get tomorrow. Like, just like Sean says,
All the
our
time. He
Lord,
says it all the
you
time.
won the fucking lottery today. And we did. And that resonates with me all the time. It
Yeah,
does.
for sure.
I don't want to go work out. I'm like, fuck you. You don't want to work out? Like, seriously?
Yeah,
Like, you need to at least go for a walk. You
for
need to go do
sure.
something.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't want to track my macros today. Like, you guys, like, you got to stop this shit. And now that I've cultivated this new space by just bettering myself
Mm-hmm.
mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, financially, now that every one of my team and all my clients are doing the same, and they are sending me messages that they're just like, they feel like they're refreshed, they feel like they love themselves, they feel like they're changing people around them, and it's just like, this is the potential that everyone has.
Yeah.
But everyone just wants to sit back and just stay really cozy on the couch. It's like, you know.
Yeah, well, that's because our society and our government wants you to do that, right? Like, I mean, that's a whole other rabbit hole. But
Yeah,
like
it is.
our society, our government is making men less masculine.
They're
They're
pussies.
they're
They
sh-
are.
they're shaming women of, being too feminine. It's all fucking backwards, right? Like
It is. It's like we
it's
have
crazy.
the most, like, so many feminine men. Like, there's an epidemic of just like really soft men. And it's
Yeah.
like, I was that softy, and I was. And you want to know why I was, Brittany? Is because I didn't have a male fucking role model in my life. I
Mhm.
didn't. I was literally raised in a fucking hair salon
Oh.
with 12 women. Like,
Does
my
did your
mom,
mom
my
do that?
grandma, I literally walked in this walker in this hair salon until I took appointments, I swept hair. So how do you think that I was formed and molded? And
Just
that's
naturally more feminine. I mean, just more soft. Yeah. I mean,
right.
you got
And
it
don't
right.
get me wrong,
There's
I
nothing
do
wrong
have
with
a
it,
right.
but
Yeah. And I do have a soft spot in my heart. I
yeah.
do. But it's taken me work to really bring out the masculine side of me. And I've realized that I can't be soft in my content. Soft doesn't fucking get it. There's a time and a place to be soft and
Right.
kind and loving. There is. You know
Right.
what
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, I totally get that. I mean, I'm a hairdresser. I can totally see that. But it's like your mom, that's the only thing she knew how to do, if your dad wasn't around. Like how can she teach you how to be a man when she's not a man?
Exactly. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like she didn't take me hunting. And like, now my stepdad did. He did take me hunting. But again, my stepdad was only there until I was such and such age, and then they got divorced. Now,
Okay.
my brother was, they had my brother. So like, I've had my brother, and I've had, times where my stepdad's around sometimes and he'll get a hold of me, but you know, that same stepdad has been in the same town with as me a couple months ago and didn't even fucking call me. So it's like, so to right there, and once again, I feel fucking insignificant as still a kid, because I am a kid, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? And then the stepdad I have now,
Yeah.
I love him to death, but there's still some things that I'm just like, I don't feel like a son. I don't get the calls. Hey, let's go hunting. Hey, let's go do this. You know what I mean? I feel like Sean or my men's group that I hang out with are more father-like figures to me than any of the three men that I've been a part of.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm working on this every single day, and I'm not perfect at it. Sometimes I'm over masculine, and people are like, I get checked on that sometimes, but it is what it is. It's just a
Yeah.
lesson,
It's okay. Yeah.
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 But
I mean, I totally get that. I mean, I definitely, have felt like I just felt different, in my family and stuff like that. And I think that's something that I've had to grow into and learn how to be like self-sufficient. And that's why I've always been more masculine. You know what I'm saying? Like I was always very masculine. I didn't realize this until Saxony's women's event last October. Like I know I've been in more in my feminine, but I didn't understand that I was protecting myself being more masculine because I've always kind of done everything on my own, living on my own since I was like 17 and stuff like that. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? But like, we just had a harder road, but I don't regret anything at all because it made me who I am today. But I want to point this out to the audience. What you did, what I did is you hired a coach.
Yeah. Yeah.
You invested in yourself. You also hired a therapist. Now, there's nothing wrong with therapy. You have to find the right one.
Yeah. You have to search so hard for the right
Oh man,
therapist.
it's like
It's so hard.
being in a
I've gone through.
relationship. It is hard.
I've gone.
I'm
I
a
mean,
therapist too.
I've been to therapists the last, I don't know, 10, 8, 7 years maybe. I'm
Yeah,
like, I finally found one that's amazing. And you want to know something? I pay out of my ass for him. I do. He does not take insurance. And you want to know something? I'm really happy that he doesn't, because
yeah,
I truly value it like so much. I think
yeah.
that I don't know if I mean, I valued my last therapist to an extent though. She just, I felt like more I was going to vent to her more than anything, which is great. It's good to vent like
Sure.
that, but I was not given a tool afterwards. You know what I mean? Like
Uh,
my therapist now is helping me understand how I operate. Like when I get angry at my wife, or when I yell, or when I swear at my wife, he's like, okay, here's what you need to do when that, when your heart rate elevates above 20 beats, when you can feel that, because we can, when you're
Oh yeah.
triggered, you need to get the fuck out. I'm like, okay. And I've done that. Now, not every time, but I've done it more than I used to. So I'm like, shit, this is actually working. Or he's told me, like, now I have a coping mechanism. Here's what I do.
Mm.
He asked me, what's your favorite place to go? Where's your favorite place to be? Like, if you could be in a place right now, what would it be? I was like, it'd be on the beach. It'd be hearing the waves come up against the ocean. He's like, what else? Keep telling me more. I'm like, okay. I have my swimming shorts on. I can smell the suntan lotion. The sun's beaming on my face. He's like, go there. You need to go there daily. I was like, huh. Because here's the thing. It's like our brains don't go there daily. Our brains don't go to a happy place like that every single day. Now, I truly do find purpose in my routine every single day. I truly do. Like, I feel like I create contentment every single day by going about my daily process. And that's my purpose.
Yeah.
My workouts, my macros, my reading, learning, journaling, all that kind of stuff. But I also have this safe haven place that when everything is fucking swirling and I'm in this fucking tornado of work and finances, and my wife, she's pregnant, so she's hormonal as fuck right now, like going through all this stuff, I feel that I have been able to use that tool and find my own calm within the storm.
Yeah. How important is that? How important is finding the calm?
Oh my God. You guys, like this is exactly why people commit suicide, is they feel that the swirling doesn't stop.
Yeah.
They feel that you can't share your shit with people. Like, men feel like they can't share that they jerk off every single day to porn because they're embarrassed.
Right.
Yeah, it is embarrassing, but how else are you going to fix the problem? You can't. If you don't ask and if you don't tell, yeah, it's embarrassing. I used to do it. I used to masturbate all the time. Like, it was a problem, because I wanted that feel good feeling. That's why guys do it. Is like, they don't. I've talked about this with my counselors. Yeah, 100%. It's like, you have to find this different feeling within and self-respect within yourself. It's like, stop going for that dopamine hit, because all that's going to do, find the dopamine hit in the gym. Like, find the dopamine hit in doing some burpees right here. Find a dopamine hit in just going for a quick run, because the more that you do that, the more hollow your sex with your partner is going to feel every single time. You know what I mean? So going to that place is so important.
Now, do you go to that place mentally, or do you go to that place physically, or both?
Both. I mean, mentally, I fucking wish I could physically more. I mean, I go there more mentally, but going there in July physically, and I'm going to embrace every second of it. Someday I would like to have a house like on a beach somewhere. I really would. Like, I
Right.
don't care how much it's going to cost me. I don't care. I feel like it's an investment into me. You know what I mean?
Well, that's
Like,
what, I mean, Ed Milet wakes up to the ocean every single day,
yeah,
right? Like, I mean,
100%.
it's like
Mhm.
God's gift to him. And I asked that because I want the audience to know I figured that you went there mentally because I have to go, like every
Have to.
time I meditate, like I always go to this place under like pine trees and a lake, and there's two mountains like this
Yeah.
every single time.
Yeah.
You know what
See,
I mean?
that's good. You have this space too.
Right. So, and it's just, I want the audience to understand that this is a mental space that you can control your mind to have a sense of calm, to have a sense of peace, of prayer or meditation or whatever that is, somewhere that you can go to unwind because, you know, sometimes we don't have these like luxuries of living on the beach. I mean, I used to live on the beach. You know what I mean? And like,
Sure.
I'm not like that much of a beach person. Um, but like but I remember the times that I did sit on the beach and how calm that was. So, you can remember things that you used to be at physically to have that in your mind mentally, and I feel like when I want to also talk about like, the suicide and everything like that, because I feel like the suicides are higher because people don't understand that they get to talk. They get to share
Yes.
their story. They have
Yes.
people to talk to because of our society
Mhm.
shoving everything down and making us feel not masculine, not feminine. I mean, I can go on about this, but like it's it's like these natural things that we're born into as feminine and masculine. And I'm not talking about like being gay or anything like that. I fucking love everybody. I love is love to me. And whatever you want to be, that's fine. Okay. But I still believe that you should have a purpose in your natural born ways, and no one should be shamed for that, because once you start shaming people, the more people are going to be closed off, and the more people are going to feel more alone, and the more people are going to spin and go to suicide. Like suicides are like this. It's like eating candy. You know what I
It
mean? That's a fucking problem.
is.
It's a
Yeah.
fucking
And
problem, you
that's
know?
why more people need to share their stories. They need
Exactly.
to
Exactly.
share it. Yeah, just share
Exactly.
it. Like yeah, and like like you're going to catch some hate. Like you're going to and but all that is that's just a sign that you're doing good work. It is. Every time I get a hateful comment, I'm like, all right, just a sign I'm doing some good work here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you'll get over it. And there's times that I get hate that I'm still a little butthurt inside, but I don't just act. Again, I
You're
collect
human.
my thoughts. Yeah, 100%. But yeah, we all need to be more aware of the suicides that are going on. We all need to keep sharing. We all need, like,
Right.
share your daily process with everyone.
I mean,
Serious.
you never know, like what you say, how can it
It could be
affect
one
somebody?
word.
If you have a conversation with someone sitting next to you on an airplane, if you're in line for coffee, I don't care where you're at. If you have learned to like just keep consistently loving yourself even through bad days, and you just tell someone have a nice day. It's like, I fly like every month right now, and like when people check in their ticket, they're just like rah, rah, rah. And every time I'm like, how are you? I hope you're having a good day today. And they're like, what? You know what I mean?
Because they're not
It's
used to that.
life changing.
Yeah.
And, it's like when I was talking about, launching my coaching group, it's like, who am I to do this? Who am I not to do this? Because I feel like the more we as individuals are sharing our stories and helping people love each other, because I'm unique because I'm me. Jeff, you're unique because you're Jeff Davis. So we all have our own stories to tell. We all have a different voice. And if there's more and more of us using our voice to help you, why not? Why not have a million people? And it's like, even this weekend, it's like I had so much anxiety of like, oh my God, I'm moving. Oh my God, I'm starting over. Oh my God. It's like, and like, again, I'm going to bring up Ed Milet because he had an amazing podcast, and it's like The Lonely Road to Success. It's very recent. It's like 25 minutes. And he
Mhm.
talks about like, if you're having anxiety, if you're stressed out, and I'm not talking about just like the normal shit. I'm talking about you taking leaps of faith constantly, these baby little steps to a big change, baby little steps to a bigger change, baby little steps. And then you look back and it's this huge life change. And he says, if you have anxiety and you're stressed, you're on the right path. And man, that has helped me so much. I just listened to it. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, damn, it's like, and that's how we show up for ourselves. That's how we show up for other people, and it's like, tell your fucking story, man. Like, be vulnerable to yourself. Like, say it out loud to yourself. Share it with somebody else, because like, we have the opportunity under God's eye to help other people. Like, it's so massive right now because the world is so fucked up right now.
And it's, and it is not your job to worry. Just let God do that. Like, the more you worry, the more you're letting the enemy win.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to worry. Be confident in everything that you're doing. Like, you got to be confident in your relationship. You got to be confident in your work. You got to be confident in your fitness stuff. Yeah, if there's new stuff, you're going to be nervous, but don't worry. Don't overthink it. You're going to resist you're going to prolong everything that you're working towards the more that you worry. This is why you have to live your purpose every single day and truly fall in love with your daily process and actions. Don't worry about tomorrow. Don't worry about fucking next week. Just right now. You can't even control tomorrow. I can't even control an hour from now. The only thing I have control of is what I currently do right now. I want to flick my finger. That's the only thing I have control. That's it, just right now. And if you fall in love with that, you will have a reason to get your fucking ass up out of bed every single day, because you're going to fall in love with this process. You will just crave this process. I truly, even though I fucking hate getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning, I hate it with a fucking passion. I still love it. I love doing that, because at the end of the day, I'm like, fuck yeah.
Yeah. Because you accomplish like so much shit, like Daniel wakes up that early too. I'm not there yet. Maybe someday. I don't know. But
then I have
it's
time
also about being present in that moment. And it's like, we have to remember to be present in the moment, because it's, time goes like this. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but Jeff, like, okay, so so we're talking about like being happy with your purpose, right? And being confident. Now, with your past self of like cheating and all and horrible things that you felt like you did, how did you honestly like find love for yourself and being confident with what you do through like, doing those kinds of things?
Acceptance.
Mm-hmm.
Just accepting the fact that I did it.
Yeah.
Owning it. Truth. The truth is the one way that's really got me to love who I am, is the truth. Not hiding.
Yeah. Did you feel like you did those things because you didn't love yourself?
100%. I just didn't. My excuse was I was weak.
Yeah.
Every person that cheats is because they're weak. If you cheat, you're weak. You know what I mean? You're not strong enough to be like, you want a feeling like
dopamine again.
People want that new feeling of like excitement of having sex or a kiss or whatever, but because they are too uncomfortable to sit in the shit storm that they're in with their girlfriend or their marriage or whatever, and wait out the storm. They need that excitement. When in reality, if you just wait this storm out and you love, like, the more you guys love your partner through their darkness, that the more open they will be to you, the more sex you will have, the more everything will happen. Like, there's so much beauty that can happen in your relationship when you just fucking love them through all of their shit. Like, we're all gonna go through shit. You're all gonna get pissed. You're gonna get angry. You're gonna say fuck you. You're gonna say things that you don't mean. That's what a relationship is.
Oh yeah.
Like, what would a relationship be without those things? You're gonna, you might throw something here or there at each other. Who knows? I mean, there's gonna be some kind of thing that you guys do. But like, why be weak and want that feeling? That's like a comfort feeling of staying in your bed in the morning.
Right.
Like,
Right.
like I call, like, and I say this to myself, Brittany, like, when I want to stay in bed, I'm like, you're a weak motherfucker. Like, you pussy bitch, you get up. Like, those are the things that go through my mind that I tell myself when I want to sleep in. I'm not kidding you, but that gets me up. That gets me up.
Whatever it has to be, man. You know what I mean? Whatever that self-taught, because whatever that self-talk is.
Yeah, it's my negative self-talk.
You're talking against the devil. You know what I mean? You're literally standing up, because the subconscious mind is very, very powerful, right? It's like it is so powerful.
That's where you're acting like.
Yeah, it makes us not honest. It makes us like, totally cut off from like our purpose. And, and even it's like with all those things that, making you feel weak and stuff like that. And, growing that confidence and, letting each other be in their darkness. But it's also like in that relationship of self, when you learn how to be vulnerable, then you get to learn how to be vulnerable with your partner. You know what I mean? And have like an open and honest connection. I mean, that's why Daniel and I signed up for a relationship coaching group. I'm investing in myself in 2 coaching groups, right? Now I have like a third one for my fitness. You know what I'm saying? It's like, even Daniel and I, when we first got together, I was like, you know what? I want to build this relationship very strong, very vulnerable, and very open. I'm going to hire Scott and Ann. You know what I mean? They're my friends too, but it's like when you get older, you know how to separate those things. But it's like the more vulnerable you are with each other, you are absolutely right. All those things that you want, you're going to have them way more if you're honest, like you're speaking up of what you want and letting your partner speak up for what they want. It's a really incredible dynamic that you can form, and it's very, very simple.
It really is. Everyone just overcomplicates it by not sharing the truth.
Right? Like it's just like your coach when you didn't say that you didn't want to compete anymore. It's like,
it was so complicated. You waste more time and energy trying to fucking formulate a story about how you're going to bring something up. Just fucking say it. If you're fucking mad, say you're mad. If you're pissed, say you're pissed. If you're hurt, say you're hurt. Whatever. Who fucking cares?
Right.
It doesn't fucking matter. And if someone's like, oh, I'm offended by what you say, and you don't care, it's like, hey, you're offended? Okay, whatever. I'm just speaking my truth. I don't care. Like, I don't care that you're offended. That's you. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, now I said, like, it's just like sometimes we need to take ownership. We need to take ownership of self instead of like just truly operate on you, not on your feelings, not on your emotions. There's so much of that these days. Feelings and emotions are valid. They are. But you don't have to fucking operate on them 24/7. Oh, that's my feelings, that's my emotions. I'm like, what? Like, no, a fact is a fucking fact. Like, period. It's a fact. Like, your feelings and emotions don't matter in this moment, because if you're sharing a fact, like, oh, I'm not getting the results I want to. Well, you didn't do this or this or that. I can see that. Well, I had this, like, no, the facts are the fucking facts. And we need to, as human beings, just tap more into the truth. Right. And I think that this, I know this, we've been shared this by our mentors.
Yeah.
It wins every time.
Well, it's like that the saying that's been around forever, the truth will set you free, right? I mean, and it is hard sometimes to speak your truth, because you're like, are they going to not like me for that? And that's when your emotions will kick in, right? Like your emotions are telling you like, what if? Well, this is
Judgment.
the truth, because like you said, it takes more energy to lie, then you don't remember what you lied about. It takes more energy to hate. It actually can make you sick. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And
Right.
so like learning to put love forward and to not take anything personally, to always do your best. This is like quoting from the 4 agreements. You know what I mean? And be impeccable with your word, speaking your truth. You know what I mean? Like those are the simple things that are so powerful in our lives to make us the best people that we can be. And when we become the best people that we can be, everything around you changes.
It does. And you know what the beautiful thing is that everything around you changes with what you're doing. You don't
Absolutely.
even have to force any of it to change.
Right.
It literally just starts to mold into your life.
Right.
Wow. My wife is like, she loves me more. She wants to hear more about my day. She's giving me her love language. Yeah, because you're aligning yourself, idiot. Like you finally did it. Like you,
It's
so many people have this thing that like they're so flabbergasted by the moment they become aligned, all these things happen. The more money comes, the better your relationships get, the better your business is. And they're just dumbfounded on how this happens. Yeah, it's called
Mhm.
alignment, but everyone's so far off of it because everyone is preaching, they're preaching all this shit, but they ain't practicing it.
Well, and it's just, I made a post today about like, you can have all these dreams and goals, but
Mhm.
that shit ain't gonna happen if you don't take action. You talked about this earlier. You know what I mean? Like taking action, because you are not going to get handed everything on a fucking silver platter. Also, things are not going to happen overnight. I've been working on myself, getting out of my 10-year depression.
Mhm.
God, it's dry up in here. Since
Same.
I was 28 years old. I'm 40 years old now.
Mhm.
And I'm still learning, right? I am still learning, growing. I want to become unrecognizable every single day. You know what I mean? Or every single year, whatever whatever works for you, every 3 months, like whatever. But it's a fucking journey, man. It's just like with my last boyfriend before Daniel, I was like, how did I attract that again? Like, how did I get myself in this position? And I was like,
You were
I
you were the person he was.
exactly. And so I was like, I still have to work on myself, and I've never invested in myself. So I decided that I get to invest in myself. You know what I mean? Because like I needed help. I needed help seeing what I wasn't seeing in myself. I needed help with like what I wasn't doing in my businesses or my fitness, or like what I didn't know. I don't know everything. So hire the people to help you understand these things. Hire your fitness coach, your nutrition coach, your business coach, or hire them all together and join the Lions Den, but
It's like a
that is an example.
life hack.
Yeah, it's an example,
It truly is. It's like wherever it is you want to be, if it's in any of those fields, just fucking hire someone. Like you
Yeah.
can get there so much faster.
You
Like
can. You
everybody thinks that they can do it on their own. And I'm gonna tell you, you're fucking crazy. If you're listening to this and you think that you can get your fitness in order alone, your relationship in order alone, unless you coach it. But no, not even that. Not even that. I fucking have a fucking nutrition coach and I am a fucking nutrition coach.
right.
I have someone hold me accountable because I know how strong this is. I
Yeah.
know that I can just be like, meh, no one's watching it. It's all good. I can slack off here.
Yeah.
No, that like I think you need a coach in every area of your life. You
Yeah,
do.
for sure. It's true. And a lot of people will be like, well, it's too expensive. Well, I
That's
thought
the
that too.
fucking problem is they
Got
see
it.
it as an expense and not an investment, just like date nights. And
Yeah.
every motherfucker out there is like, oh, date nights she always wants to go to expensive places. I'm like, dude, it's not expensive. You need to see it. You need to change your way of thinking. It's an investment. Now you can consciously make together as a team, make some financially smarter decisions where the locations that you go to. You don't need to have $400 dinners every single week. She doesn't want to do that, dude. She actually wants an experience with you. She doesn't just want dinner. She wants to go and do something interactive with you where she can touch you, where she feels like she's being dated several times. Like some guys think a date night is just a dinner. No, you could actually do 3 dates in one night. You could take her to dinner. You could go do something interactive, and then you could go for a walk when you're done. And then when you're done, you could have great sex. That's 4 dates in one night.
Yeah.
Do that 4 times a month.
It's letting each other be seen, right? It's like investing in yourself. You actually will make more money. Hear me on this, you guys. Like if you invest in yourself, because you're investing in yourself, you're loving yourself more, you're adding value to everything in your life, your mental spirit, your physique, your business, your relationships. So of course, everything else is going to expand and, get better simply, you know what I mean? Because you invested in yourself. And then, if when it comes to date night and your partner, going back on what you're talking about, like you can have a bonfire in the backyard, have a deep conversation. It's really about being seen. You want each other to be seen and heard and having the deep conversations and having, the physical touch as well for that connection. Because connection isn't just about sex. It's really involving in each other's lives, of investing in yourselves, investing as a couple, and these investments are adding value, and it's an expansion of your world. You know what I mean? Like I mean, of course, like there are times too, like I'm freaking out. I got to start all over again for this. This is true story. I have to start all over again. I've been doing hair for 20 years. You know what I mean? And I moved here 2 years ago, and like I built a clientele really fast. So I know I can do it again, but I have to start all over again. And I got more bills. I have a car payment. I have 2 coaching groups. I have, nutritionists, all these things. I'm like, how am I going to do this? Do I stop one of my coaching groups?
No, I mean, that's what your mind's going to tell you to do.
But every day, my mind's like, how am I going to do that?
Yeah. But you're just on the brink of more expansion. That's what it is. Because the universe is forcing you to change. So the only thing on the other side of that is expansion.
Absolutely.
But people fail to see that. They're like, oh, what's going to happen? It's like, dude, stop worrying. Just go with it. Like, just go. It'll all be fine.
Go with your heart.
Yeah, don't worry. It's negative. Anytime you're worrying, it's negative.
Yeah, and I worry a lot. I worry a lot, you guys. I'm not going to lie about this. I worry a lot, but I have a partner who helps me worry less. And I'm not like vomiting up all my stuff to him. I am speaking my truth to him, always being vulnerable. But at the same time, he's like, Brittney, don't worry. But guess what? Who also helps me not worried is prayer, God. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
that's his job.
Yeah. And I naturally am going to worry. But at the same time, those worries, I'm like, this is the right path. And everybody sees it. Once you start actually taking action, right? Everyone around you'd be like, hell yeah, Brittney, you're going to do amazing. There's no question about it. You know what I mean?
You can only
worry a little bit.
You can only.
It's okay. It's okay. It's part of the process. And I just be like, everything's fine. I still will always say to myself, this shall pass too, because I know that I'm following my passion and my heart, and I'm just taking action, just one day at a time, 1 hour at a time, 1 minute at a time, 1 second at a time. And if I keep doing that, everything is going to be fine, because I'm adding value to myself. I'm loving myself. I'm putting myself first, as well as my new family that I'm going to be, involving my life with. And these things are really hard for people to see.
That's the only thing that, just like what you just said, is like the only thing that you guys need to do is just daily action on everything that you're doing in your life. And whatever's not serving you, you need to get rid of.
Absolutely.
If there's anything that you are currently doing, if you're eating in a certain way that's causing regret, if you're drinking that's causing regret, if you're having mindless sex that's causing regret, anything that is causing immediate regret is a vice, and you need to extinguish it immediately, because that's not purpose. And keep doing these things, keep taking the action, keep racking up the wins every single day, and you can truly get to the place wherever it is that you're seeking to go.
Right. And even when you talk about friendships, relationships that you have, when you start growing and you start becoming unrecognizable, because maybe your friends that you've known for 30 years, for example, right? They're used to you in a certain way.
Yeah.
And then when you become unrecognizable and you're true to yourself, they're like, they might not support you.
That's okay.
And it's
Doesn't
okay.
matter.
It might be hard.
Yeah, you have to be okay with it though.
You absolutely. And this is what I was talking about before, like having guilt and stuff like that. The guilt that I used to have on those things in relationships, like, is like a 360, like multiple times, even though I'm still working on it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, guess what? My value and like what I'm pushing to do to love other people and to help others, that's the gift. That's the gift that I get to receive. That's a gift I get to share. And if people don't want to support you, fuck them.
Yep.
You know, and it's really hard to let those go, you know, especially if you've known someone for, 30 years, 20 years, 15, 5 years, you know what I mean? It's like some people are going to be in your life for a season, for a reason, or for a lifetime. And you have to just recognize those things and be like like we started this whole conversation, is be grateful. Be grateful.
For whatever it is just whatever it is you have in your life, you got to be grateful, 100%.
Yeah.
And whatever is removed from your life, it's for a reason.
Yeah.
Be grateful for that too.
Absolutely. So I love talking about daily routines, especially when other people have daily routines, because I feel like when people listen to daily routines, they can take something from that. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I might add that. So Jeff, what is your daily routine every single day?
Okay. So I get up anywhere from 2:45 to 4 a.m. On the weekends, it's a little bit later just because my gym doesn't open until 6. I'm usually at the gym from 4:30 weekdays, 6 a.m. on the weekends.
Mm-hmm.
Before I go, as I'm in the morning, as I'm going, I'm listening to positive things, quotes, anything that's going to pump up my frequency. I'm spending time alone. I am bringing my book with me. I am reading before the gym opens. I'm just reading some things in a positive personal development book. I'll do my coffee, my pre-workout, and then going into the gym. Okay. That's where all my creativity is for the majority of my posts comes from. One, I'm working out. So I'm working out, but I'm also spending time and collecting my thoughts and dealing with, the things that I'm dealing with on a daily basis, like what's coming up for me. But I'm doing that early in the morning also because that is nobody can get a hold of me then. No emails, no texts. I know no one's texting me at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. No one's calling me. No one's doing shit like that. So I'm doing all this stuff before anyone else gets up. And then I've got 10 wins before I start the day, so I've started to introduce prayer now, even before my book. So I'm like putting God first. I started that as of just yesterday.
Ooh, I like that. Ooh,
yeah,
I like that.
like that's something that our pastor said, like put God first every single day. So I'm doing that. So I spend time doing a devotional. So then workout's done. I'll usually make a post in my story. I post it on my story every single morning, like when I'm going to the gym. Post my workout when it's done. I'll make a post. I'll draft it up, correct it, post it before usually about 12, depending on if I like the post or not, but it's posted at least throughout the day. And then that's my morning. And then throughout then, I've got so much energy. I put it into all of my calls, all of my clients, all of the work that I have to do. And then throughout the day, if I'm running low on energy, which happens sometimes, I usually don't go for caffeine. I might do a second cup of coffee, but If I got to do some push-ups right here, some body weight squats, or if I have to do something that's going to pump my frequency up because I am going to get tired. And then I'm eating my meals all throughout the day. I'm eating, 5 to 6 meals a day, and I'm usually in bed by 8 or 8:30. And I just repeat that cycle over and over and over again, every single day.
Do you ever get sick of the cycle? Do you ever
No,
get sick of
absolutely
your
not.
day?
It's my purpose. I would never get sick of that.
Oh, very good.
So that's
Love that. I
that's
love
my day. That's my
that
day.
in prayer first, because I pray, I meditate like after my workout and then pray. I want to start praying before. I love that. I freaking love that. Just that little shift. Like, I love that you say putting God first. Like, obviously, I want God to speak through me, as much as he can. So, like, I should be putting that first. And that is very powerful, man.
It is. And then
Love that.
weekends are the same. Sometimes I'll go on hikes, I'll go to church on Sundays with my wife,
Yeah.
meal prep every single Sunday. Like, I'm a very routine, structured person. I just like everything the same, but I'm doing this to elevate just a higher self of me, to be a more disciplined, consistent person.
Yeah.
If you're trying to look for difference in every single day, that's not going to get you to the place that you want to go.
Right.
You just got to be better than what you were yesterday and just consistently do it over and over again. People like consistency.
Well, consistency is going to turn into very huge things, because it's like, for example, most workouts, I feel like crap. I'm like, I didn't do good. I didn't do good. And there's those workouts where you just feel like you're on fucking fire, man. You're like, yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
Not every workout's going to be like that.
No.
But then after like a couple weeks, you might repeat like a preacher curl, for example. I don't think a lot of people know, or let's say a squat, like a back squat. Most people know what that is. And then you are like 20 pounds more, and you're just like, well, shit, man. Even though I felt like shit in my workouts, I'm being consistent, and guess what? I'm getting stronger. How cool is that? You know what I mean? Because I showed up every single day.
Yeah, you did. And you just
I worked out when I didn't want to, I went to work when I didn't want to. I read when I didn't want to. I prayed when I didn't want to. You know what I mean?
And I love that you say that. Is like, whenever you guys don't want to do something, that's when you should do it, because that right there, you'll learn so much in that moment. You'll learn more from that moment than you will than actually going when you want to do it.
I appreciated when I didn't want to. I forgave when I didn't want to. You know what I mean? It's like, there's so many things that if you show up for one thing consistently, try it 2 things consistently, 3 things consistently, 4 things consistently. And like, it's all going to show up in a different way, and everything will change around you in a bigger light, where you get to shine your light like a lighthouse. You know what I mean? And that's what it's all about. I do want to respect your time, Jeff. So the last question I want to ask you is, going through everything that you went through, right? And the super, super dark and the ego.
Yep.
What would you say to somebody right now who cannot overcome their ego to change for the better, to love themselves?
Man, that's a really, really good question. Stop being an asshole.
Ooh.
You are literally being an asshole to yourself for letting your ego continue to take over your life. Like, don't be an asshole. Get your shit done. Like, do your shit. If you have a nutrition coach, you better be tracking your food. If you're not tracking your food, you're a fucking asshole. If you have a workout coach and you're not doing your workouts, you're a fucking asshole. If you are not pouring into your spouse and doing the love languages, you're a fucking asshole. Like, you're choosing to be a fucking asshole. Don't be one, because nobody likes assholes. Yeah. Everyone likes consistent people that show up. Even when you show up, it might not be the prettiest and it will not be perfect. Just don't be a fucking asshole.
Well said. Well said. I freaking love that. And it's like also that term you see, it's like a company that says, dude, be nice. You know what I mean? It's just, yeah. I mean, like, if you're being an asshole, you're being an asshole to yourself. You're
100%. Yeah. And you look like an asshole.
Hell yeah.
Like, you're being an asshole and you look like an asshole because you're just not choosing to do your shit.
Yeah.
You know, I tell this to my client. I tell this to my clients. If they don't track their stuff, I'm like, dude, you're being an asshole right now. What?
Yeah.
You're being an asshole. You're not doing anything that I asked you. Like, I told you to do this week. You didn't do it. You're being an asshole.
Yeah.
Why should I not get rid of you right now? Why should I not fire you? Because I told you to do something. You blatantly didn't do it. You're a fucking asshole. You
Yeah.
do it this week. If you don't, you're gone. Because I would be doing you a disservice if I continue letting you be an asshole.
Right. Right. Right.
Period.
And you guys, with that said, guess what? Jeff's an amazing coach right here. Just listen to what he's saying, you guys. Like, and I will put all his information in the drop box below. Like,
Yes.
this motherfucker right here is gonna push you
I'll
to
give you everything that you need.
to
TikTok.
be the best. Because you've been through it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You've
And
been
I'm glad I have.
Hell yeah, I am too, man. I am too. Like, you know, I look back on like the shit that, you know, I did or been through, and it's like I don't regret anything in my life. I really don't, man. If you live with regret, you're gonna feel sick. So release it. Forgive
Absolutely.
yourself.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Positive. That's positive. Forgiving, loving.
Yeah.
Don't be an asshole.
Don't be an asshole. Dang it.
That's how you should name this episode. Don't be an asshole.
Don't be I will.
Don't be an asshole, guys. Yeah, 100%.
As long as I can put that on YouTube. I don't know if I can use that. Don't be a butthead.
Oh no, YouTube's fine. You can still do that. I mean, you just have to put the asterisks in it. But we said this at the end of the episode, so it'll be good.
Yeah. That's great. Jeff, that's great. Thank you so much for
having me, Brittany.
podcast. And I love getting to know you more because of this. This is so awesome. And
it was.
You know, I hope that sometime, man. I hope someday that Daniel and I can meet you and your lady out.
You will. We'll make it happen.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So good luck with everything. And like, I appreciate you. I really appreciate you. I appreciate what you're doing, man. Like, this is powerful shit right here. So again, you guys, if this is your guy, freaking talk to him, hit him up on Instagram, man. Like he's, you know, like he'll get back to you probably that day. So don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to change your life around. And if like, he's your guy, get after that. Get after it. So I appreciate you so much. And I'll probably see you tomorrow.
Yeah, you will. We'll be there tomorrow.
Yeah. So have a good night, you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. All the information's below. Hit them up. And this podcast should be coming out. Actually, it doesn't matter because you're listening to it right now. But like Jeff, it'll be coming out probably in June, I think, or end of I don't really know. But regardless, thank you so much. And I hope you have a good night.
You as well.
All right. Take care.
Bye, Brittany.
Bye.